Who here's ever had a client? I want to ask it again. Who has ever had a client? Who here has ever had a client that has come in and said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't stick to my meal plan, or I didn't train, or I should have done this, or I should go to the gym, or I should eat healthy," and they should all over themselves? Who's ever had? Yeah. Who's done this themselves personally, right? So now the problem with should is this: whenever we think or use the word should, are we motivated to take the action? No. What happens when we say should and we don't take the action? How do we feel?
Shit.
We feel guilty. We feel guilty, do we not? So we say we should go to the gym, or should do phone calls or finances if it's business related. We should, okay? We don't, and we feel guilty. Yes. Now this is the problem. Let's say a client said she should go to the gym, and she's thinking about the gym. She's thinking about the gym, and she's feeling guilty. She attaches the two. What's going to happen is she's going to be thinking about the gym and feeling guilty. Does that make sense? But people don't realise it's happening at the unconscious level. They're doing it to themselves. They wonder why they're not motivated to go to the gym. See, these are the deep reasons. Who's had a client use the word should, or use the word yourself? For sure, right? Now imagine if you turn that should into must. And you said, "I must go to the gym." Are you more likely to take the action and make that happen? Can you think of something that you've ever said to yourself that you must do that you didn't do? But even if once or twice, it's a very big difference between that and should, right? Okay? Nothing is always. If always is something, then something is always. Something to think about. If you must do something, wouldn't you agree that's going to more likely motivate you to take the action that you need? And it's not just about motivation. This is the problem, is we attach guilt to the gym. And you do that 2, 3, 4 times. Now, whenever that person or your client thinks about the gym, she automatically feels guilty. Is guilt a motivational state? No, for sure. If I must do something and I do it, what happens? I take the action and I create what? A habit. Because I do it over and over again. It becomes a trigger and becomes unconscious. See, it's so simple. Turning your shoulds into must creates that motivation. See, and what we think, the words we use, these thoughts, notice how they lead to feelings. And they go through that mind cycle. See how it comes together? Okay, so turning your shoulds into must. The next one is this. We all know this, and we've all used this with clients. The word try. In hypnosis, they use the word try to make you do things. For example, as you look at me right now, try not to think of me in a mankini. Thank you very much. In order for you to not think about it, you've got to think about it first. It's called a command negation in NLP. So, for example, I tried to go to the gym. I tried to eat well. I tried to quit smoking. The word try denotes failure. Anyone that studies psychology in any way, shape or form knows that and will use that to get people to take action. Yeah? I want you to try so hard after you leave here today to not use any of the information that we're going through at all. Try it. Just try your best to not do anything, okay? Nothing at all. It's really simple, right? Okay? So eliminate the word try. Anyone watch Star Wars? What does Yoda say to Luke Skywalker?
Do or do not, there is no try.
Whoa, it's a few Star Wars fans. That's the most, yeah. He says, do or do not, there is no try. Do or do not, there is no try. And how often do we say it to our clients? You probably think of a time when your client said, "I try," or "try," and you've got "do try," just do. Something like that. We all use it. So I'm going to invite you to, whenever you find yourself saying the word try or tried, to just eliminate it. Turn your shoulds into must and eliminate the word try. Now it's going to be very interesting to see how often that when you become aware of this over the next week, that you use the word try or shoulds, because you'll be very surprised. You'll be very surprised how much you'll. But do you want to know what the most powerful of the three that I believe is? The two most powerful words that form our reality, in our perception of reality, are the words "I am." Because whatever follows "I am," whatever you say you are, will determine your reality, your actions, etc. Now, "I am" is a belief statement. So, for example, I believe I'm a heroin addict. Am I going to be able to quit taking heroin? No, only when I cut at the roots, yeah, and I remove that weed and change my belief and believe that I'm not a heroin addict, I'm just someone that's used it because I've had a screwed up upbringing, to change my focus and reality. Wouldn't you agree that's more easy to change that? Alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. It's a disease for life. Come on, is that really going to help us get over that? I am overweight. Who's ever heard someone say I am overweight? If your client says to you, "I am overweight," what's it going to mean? That's going to create other beliefs. They're called presuppositions. If someone says that "I am overweight" to you, then all their actions, their behaviour, have got to be in alignment with that because they can't lie to themselves. The I am is an identity belief, or what? And have you ever, there we go. Have you ever had a conversation with someone where they just can't be wrong, they're just never wrong? You know those people? Because they have so much conviction about their identity that if you prove them wrong when they've attached it to their identity, then they don't know who they are. Does that make sense? So I want to ask you a question. It's a bit deep. Is that okay? Ask you a question. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you really? It's a pretty deep question, and you'll be thinking all different thoughts. Now, if those thoughts that you have are not things you want to I am be, they're not things you want to be, then you need to change those. So my invitation for you is to become aware of, if we know that we want to change our behaviour, we need to change our what? The beliefs. We need to change our beliefs. So an I am, our identity beliefs are the most powerful beliefs that anchor in our behaviour and determine those unconscious behaviours and habits. It's the most powerful way to change our behaviours and your clients and your own for business is to become aware of all the things that you believe you are, and if they're not things that you need to be or not giving you the results you want, we need to work on what you want to be, and we help you bridge that gap as well. The most powerful beliefs are your identity beliefs. They're the anchors that create the actions that you take, the outcomes that you get, and the results of your life. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm going to invite you and challenge you over the next week just to become aware of whenever you say I am something, notice what's after it. If it's a negative or something you don't want to be, change it. If you find yourself saying the word should, eliminate that, just stop that and turn it into a must. And if you say the word try, completely eliminate that and say I will do, or I can, or... Does that make sense? You can see how powerful just these three little things can be. But for example, let's say that you have a client, and your client says, you know what, your client comes in and she says to you, last night I was invited out with my friends. And they're all going out for cocktails and dinner. It was my friend's birthdays. I said, oh, I can't go, I just started a new personal training. I'll kill them. And decides to go out because she wants to do the right thing, wants to go out with her friends and have a good time. And she's there, she's like having a salad, and an hour goes in, they get a bit tipsy, and she's like, oh, okay, just one cocktail. Okay.